No.
You got it. Yeah. What he's doing, I can't even get it. You can't hear them?
No.
Are you sure you just can't hear the voice?
Right now. Testing. Everybody hear me?
Am I on, Bill?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay.
Very hard to hear you when you sit at that end of the table, though.
Pardon me?
It's very hard to hear you when you sit at that end of the table.
Where's the microphone? It's there. Well, I will move down. Now we have the okay. As I say, you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, let's just start from the beginning and be easier. The special town meeting. I'd like to have a nomination for town meeting moderator, please.
I make a motion for Tom Nguyen to be the moderator for the special meeting.
Have a second? Second. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, nominations are closed. All in favor of town meeting moderator, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Opposed? Opposed? Abstain?
Said aye. She didn't vote.
Yeah, I know. she did. Abstain? Motion passes. So now have a nomination for clerk of the town meeting. Sue King.
I nominate Sue King.
Have a second? Second. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? All in favor of Sue King being our clerk of the town meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Sue King is the moderator. Okay. Without objection, I'm going to place the call of the meeting in the legal notice in the minutes. And I will now ask, where's our town manager? John?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, John, can you explain this motion, please?
Yes, I will, Mr. Chairman. This appropriated amount of $161,500 is going to be placed in a budget line item to pay police officers for extra duty work. In turn, the town will bill the vendor for the police service plus 30% administrative cost. Therefore, this appropriation is fully refunded to the town plus 30%. And let me add that so far this year, the town has billed $184,000 in administrative costs. So this appropriation will be fully refunded plus 30%.
Which means, yeah, which means that the town makes, I guess, makes 30% on their all their overtime.
Yes, the town makes 30% on all of the extra duty work that police officers perform.
Okay, pretty sure. I just went through the motion, then we can discuss it. Okay. All right, so hang in there, John. There might be some questions for you. I'm going to ask Kathleen to do the motion.
So I move to authorize an appropriation of $161,500 from the general fund for police special duty services.
Have a second.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Yeah, for the chair.
Yes.
That 30% is on top of the 161,500.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And what's the total to date that we made on police services?
The exact total as of today is $184,500.
Okay, and that money goes into the general fund?
Yes, it does.
Nothing comes back to the police department, am I correct?
No, that money is not appropriated back into the police budget.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, yeah, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Abstain? That's unanimous? Thank you. Motion passes. Town meeting is now adjourned, and we will re-adjourn in about 8 minutes at 7:30. Thank you. Yep.
Mike, you're good.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Colleen here, Kathleen Raymo,
Here.
Marion Rosa. Marion Rosa, roll call. Marion's here.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, okay. Jonathan Ramsey,
Here.
Anthony Devona,
Here.
Raza,
Here.
Rachel Ryan.
Here.
She's here. Paul Rinaldi. He's not. I looked for him today, couldn't find him.
No,
Okay.
Paul Rinaldi, it appears Paul Rinaldi's here.
Paul is here?
Well, I see his name anyway.
Yeah,
Is
he's
he
been
Paul
calling
Rinaldi?
in. He's
Okay,
been calling,
Marcus?
can't speak.
Wonderful. Thanks. Nice for you to be here, Paul. Public participation. Anyone that would like to make a statement?
Hands up.
Put your hand up on the,
Catherine camera or unmute.
okay. Catherine, you're unmuted. Catherine, camera.
Yes, Catherine Camera, 31 Cottage Place. Couple of things tonight. I would like to know, last meeting, you did not have a second public participation, and it was also not on the agenda tonight. I don't recall having seen any votes on removing that, so I'd like to know when it was removed, why it was removed.
It wasn't removed, and it's the chairman's meeting, and I chose this, since limited meeting, I chose not to put it on. Any other questions?
So does that mean there'll be second participation tonight?
That means there'll be no second participation, correct?
I'm sorry, you're saying there will not be a second participation?
There'll not be a second participation,
And why is that?
because I decided not to have it. Because
Is that how the,
there's no reason for it right now, because we have limited meetings. You may not like that answer, but that's why I did it.
well, I have something that I wanted to ask about something that's on the agenda. So I guess it just seems, well,
do
it
it
was
now.
something in the package, so I guess I'll ask that now.
There you
There's-
go, okay.
In the package, there's about department head compensation, and I wanted to clarify what comp time is. What is that comprised of, the comp time?
Okay, I'll let John answer that question. Where's, John, are you there, town manager?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, can you answer that question for Kathleen, please?
Yes, through the chair. Comp time is merely compensatory time given to department heads for attending meetings and other functions. Town department heads do not receive overtime, so they're compensated by comp time, which is straight time, not time and a half.
Okay, so I'm looking at the memorandum, and I just want to be clear. So on page 2, it's got a reduction from 18 days per year of sick time back to 15 days because all other employees only receive the 15 days. So I get that. That's to make it everybody gets 15 days. But in the comp time, it says that there's going to be an increase the comp time to a maximum of 55 hours from the present 35. But what does it mean when it's got highway union reimbursement is 80 hours? So is it saying that the highway union, the not department heads, they get a reimbursement of 80 hours, but now the department heads are going from 35 to 55? Would that be what that means?
Well, that means that the collective bargaining agreement in the highway department permits highway workers to obtain 80 hours of compensatory time. And I just used that as a comparison since department heads receive 35 hours. And I suggested it be up to 55 hours. But that again is a council decision.
I'm just curious if because of the sick time being reduced to make it even, I'm just curious if this is going from 35 to 55, but eventually going to try to go up to the 80 as is the rest of the union? Is this just like a stepping stone to get to the same number? But I'm sure that's not what's on the agenda tonight, so I just happened to notice that. But thank you for clarifying. The third thing that I want to mention is that I asked Lisa Dalton about the petition process right now during COVID. She seemed to think that, she told me that she knew of nothing in the municipalities, but I spoke with I called the governor's office today. He referred me to my House of Representatives, my rep. I spoke with his office. They're contacting the Secretary of State. And because it does appear for petitions for the state, there was an executive order. It's likely that the Secretary of State will have something to say about that. We definitely are trying to prevent people from being face to face. I intend to proceed with a petition soon, as soon as I can find out what, how I can do it, what's allowed. And this would be to get a referendum for people to vote on whether they want a mayor versus town manager. I'm telling you this because I am going to do it. It will force it on a referendum. I would like to try to get it onto the referendum in November to save a second one. But if no one's going to work with me to do that, then it'll just happen when it's going to happen. And therefore, if you hire a town manager and this goes to referendum after that fact, and it gets voted for a mayor, then you're going to have a problem with the town manager that you recently hired. So I don't know if you want to work on it. I know it's been brought to you by Sean Butterly and Rich Affaletta. It doesn't seem to have any interest, but we do have the power of referendum. So I'm looking into what we have to do for under COVID to get signatures electronically or however they would be accepted. So I just wanted to let you know I'm looking into that, and hopefully between the Secretary of State and the governor's office and the town clerk, and I don't know who gets involved with it, we'll know something very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Rose?
Who?
Rose?
Rose?
He's unmuted now?
You're unmuted. You can speak now, Rose.
Okay, I'm unmuted. This is Rose Soboleski, 456 Davis Street, Oakville. I too was going to ask a question about what's on the agenda at 9E. And Catherine brought up a couple of the questions already. Can I just go back to where there's no minimum and I'm looking at the notes tonight, no minimum compensation time for meetings. Is that for like town council meetings, commission meetings that these department heads might have to go to? Is that what you're referring to for giving comp time to?
This is interim town manager, John Gavalis. Yes, that is what we're referring to.
Okay, all right, that was one question. And can I just say, I think it's one of the last points that well, first of all, how many people are involved as a department head or the non-union employees? How many people are we talking about?
We're talking about 13 people. And bear in mind, when a department head receives compensatory time, and then they take that compensatory time off, they are not replaced. So there's no financial impact on the town.
Okay, all right. I'm just
Rose, excuse me, Rose, how many questions you have? This is
one, just one,
Pardon me?
one,
one
only
more?
one more question, right?
Oh, so you're done?
Yes.
Okay.
So when the insurance, you mentioned a possibility of saving money on medical insurance for them. Are they annually offered this opt-out option and we've been paying $1,000 if they accept it? So would that continue every year? Are they offered this every year? Because in the world of, corporate accounting or just other entities outside the government business here, people are given the option to either take the insurance the company offers them or not, and that's up to them with no money in their pocket for taking that. So I'm just looking to save the town money. I don't see why we have to pay anybody to opt out of an offering.
Through the chair, may I comment on that, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir, please do.
When we look at our town's medical coverage, for example, for a family, the allocation rate computed is a cost of the town of approximately $40,000. Now, if that individual has a medical issue, it could cost the town up to $150,000. That's where our cutoff rate is. So by paying that individual $2,500 to opt out of our medical, and the town of Watertown is no longer responsible for their medical care, is really a boon for the town. It's certainly a savings to the town.
But are they offered this, do they have to opt out every year? Or is it a one-time they opt out and they're done?
No, they would opt out every year,
It's a
annually.
nice bonus. They're just receiving a nice bonus to apply to their insurance.
And
But
the town is saving $40,000,
yeah, I get it.
at the least, at the very least. So I really think the math works.
Okay, that's the end of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rose. Anybody else? Is there anybody else?
I do not at this time see hands raised, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we have no other hands raised from the public, so we will go to minutes. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes of June 1st?
I make a motion to accept the minutes for the June 1st, 2020 regular meeting.
Have a second?
Second.
Any additions or subtractions? Any?
Yes,
Rachel?
Mr. Chairman, I did not vote to adjourn at the meeting. It said it was unanimous, and I did not cast a vote, so I was a nay vote.
To adjourn? Oh, okay.
Yes, adjourn. It happened really quickly, and I was planning on making a motion and was not able to do that, so I cast a nay vote, and the meeting turned off.
Well, Rachel, it was a moot point anyway, because you weren't able to make that any motion you wanted at that time, so that was.
Well,
but that's okay. But that's
still
okay.
voted, and the minutes say unanimous, so I just want the minutes to reflect that it wasn't a unanimous
Okay.
adjourn.
We'll make sure that is reflected at that time.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Chairman's report. There's been a lot of discussion about the decision of the Town Charter Commission on the ability for the town voters to choose whether they want a mayor or council form of government. What I've done after a lot of discussion with many people, I contacted two people. I contacted Lisa Dalton, our town clerk, and our attorney, Paul Jessel. We're right now waiting for Paul Jessel to review some of the statutes that came down from the state of Connecticut and the Secretary of State's office. He's reviewing those statutes. We're going to get it before we put anything on the agenda to even place it on the for November ballot. We didn't know we can legally do that. So as soon as I get a report or a legal opinion from Paul Jessel, we're not going to do anything until we know we can do it anyway. Now, people can relax because the last day we get to do that, the town, is August 17th. We have 2 months. We're gonna get this right. Or we approve it and then we can't put it on the ballot. So we'll do it right, and everyone will know exactly what the opinion is when I find out, and we will go from there. So that's I hope that relaxes everybody. It makes everybody a little bit more calm. So it is right now being discussed with our attorney. Not bad report. John?
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. This is Interim Town Manager John Gabon. This past Monday, June 8th, a group of citizens gathered on the green in Watertown to protest the actions of a single Minneapolis, Minnesota police officer, which resulted in the death of Mr. George Floyd. This group remained peaceful, respectful, and law-abiding. At the end of the event, they walked to police headquarters, where Acting Police Chief Josh Berniger answered numerous questions and engaged in a productive dialogue with them. I want to commend Acting Chief Berniger and each and every member of our police department for preparing for and overseeing this event in a respectful, professional, and sensitive manner. On another note, our purchasing agent, Jason Warner, completed his last day with us on Friday, June 12th. He and his family are moving to North Carolina. We are now in the process of reviewing applications and conducting interviews for his replacement. In addition, I met today with Attorney Paul Jessel to go over the final details concerning the completion and the acceptance of our new town hall. The final punch list has been completed, outlining the items which still need to be corrected to our satisfaction. Once that is done, and we conclude construction is finished, we will be prepared to accept the building. I anticipate this happening by the first week of July or sooner. Once we accept the building, we will meet with Burlington and resolve the financial issues related to the project. I'm confident the funding that was appropriated will be adequate to meet our financial obligations to Burlington. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Gabon. Okay. Business. Motion number 8.
I move to appoint Robert Condestina of Oakville to fill the vacancy of Case Duplessis for a term through the next regular town election.
Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Who's that, Paul? Opposed, one abstain? What is it?
I'm gonna post it.
Was that you, Paul? Am I wrong? Paul Rinaldi, who said? Is that Paul Rinaldi? Paul!
I don't think so.
Okay. I was told that Paul didn't vote no. So it's, huh?
You could call the vote. Why don't you call it by name and we'll
Yeah, why don't we do a roll call? Tom Nguyen, yes. Kathleen Kamara?
Yeah, Randall.
Kathleen Ringo?
Yes.
Shoot myself. Kathleen Ringo?
Yes.
Jonathan Ramsey?
Yes.
Anthony DeMona?
Yes.
Who else is here? Maria Rosa?
Yes.
Lou Raza?
Yes.
Rachel.
Paul Rinaldi?
Nothing.
Nothing. Motion passes.
Rachel, you can use Rachel.
Oh, Rachel Ryan, I'm sorry, Rachel.
Yes.
She said yes, I do. Okay. Motion passes. Okay, I'd like to bring up, Herm, you see it?
Yes,
Senator
sir.
Herm and Lisa Dalton, our town clerk, to swear Herm in right now.
Please raise your right hand. Robert J. Wait 1 second. I can't see you guys. Move in.
Hold on, we have a couple people that want to come in here.
Okay. Robert J. Messina, do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully discharge, according to law, your duties as a member to the Watertown Town Council to the best of your abilities, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Can we shake or elbow?
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, here, sir.
Yes, sir. You go right ahead.
I humbly and proudly thank and accept my fellow council members for this acknowledgement of me to fill this very important vacancy on the council. Will continue to devote myself totally and fully to serve the citizens of Watertown and Oakville, as I have done in one capacity or another for the past 44 years. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much.
Okay, you're now seated.
Yes, sir.
You have all the privileges of the town council. God bless you.
Congratulations.
Okay, number 2, ethics subcommittee.
Do you want to mention that thing, how it works?
Yeah, well, we'll do that now, then, and we'll do that.
I move to appoint the 5 following individuals to the Ethics Subcommittee. Mary Ann Rosa, Anthony DeBona, Robert Condesina, Rachel Ryan, and Kathleen Ramos.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Stay. Motion passes. At this time, I'm going to, since we now have a full council and we have a position for Public Works, I'm going to appoint Herm Messina as under Public Works Department,
Thank you, sir.
Public Works Committee, okay?
Thank you.
Chair,
Pardon me?
the chair for that. The chair, you need to, Pace is gone, she was the chair.
Oh, that's what Chair said. Right. And, Ian?
It's me, Rachel, and her on that committee.
So I'm going to appoint Kathleen Kamara as chairman of the public. Rainbow. That's 3 times in about 3 years, so I'm not doing okay. Kathleen Rainbow as a chairman of the Public Works Department. She's living in my head. That's good. Huh? Yeah.
I move to authorize the bid waiver to extend the unit prices from a July 23rd, 2019 bid for the 2020 Main Street Route 63 Cemetery Wall Replacement Project to be completed by Grasshopper Lawn for an amount not to exceed $65,000.
Have a second.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing
Can
none.
we have a brief explanation of that for the record?
Well, that was they did part of the wall replacement back in 2019 in the cemetery because it was just damaged or destroyed and very unsafe. So we put in the budget for this year to just finish and redo the whole thing because it was not in good shape. So that's what this is, to finish the project.
Pretty sure that wall for bid.
No, that's what this,
This is too.
That is the way it is. Okay.
anything else? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Stay. You can vote now. Okay, C.
I move to authorize the bid waiver for, to extend the unit prices from a May 12th, 2020 bid for the Echo Lake Road at Porter Street Sidewalk Rehabilitation Project for an amount not to exceed $20,000.
Have a second.
second,
Any discussion?
Can we have a brief explanation of that for the record?
This is, I talked to Roy, and this is a project to put a stop sign over by Davalese to make it a three-way stop because of the potential of accidents. It went through the police commission, and they're putting up a stop sign, and in order to do that, there needs to be a certain amount of sidewalk. So this is the bid waiver to have the sidewalk put in so that the stop sign is all the way it's supposed to be for the police commission.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
aye,
Opposed, I'm sorry, not too fast. Abstain, motion passes. E,
I move to authorize $7,650 from the Heavenly Conservation Project for the clerk of the works through July 31st of 2020, not to exceed 20 hours per week.
have a second?
second,
Any discussion?
Through the chair, I did have a quick question. Earlier, the town manager mentioned that we should be done by like the first week of July. So I was wondering why we would want to extend the pay for him until the end of July.
Well, first of all, that's an estimate. That's why we put him down to part-time. And it is indeed, if it's done by the end of this month or the first week in July, his services will no longer be needed. And I just didn't want to have to go through that. And because our next meeting will be July 17th. Because we only have one meeting in July. It's just to make sure that does happen.
Through the chair. May I
Yes.
ask a question? I thought we voted at a previous meeting and that we thought that was going to be the last time we were going to need to pay the clerk of the works. I might not be remembering correctly, but I thought we thought we were wrapped up.
Actually, we've had a couple of votes like that for the clerk of the works. That was before the punch list grew so large. And the punch list was so big, we needed to extend it because the contractors had some more work to do on the punch list. That's why. So the punch list was larger than we expected when we voted that.
Is it possible to find out what was on that punch list, or is there a record of that somewhere?
Oh, our clerk of the works has the whole list. You want to see if I can get it to you.
Okay, I can contact him.
Or you can ask, yeah, you can actually call the town manager and he'll provide that for you. He'll get it from Gary. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, for the chair, she's right, because that's what they did say. They said we were done the last time we voted to give them money.
That's right. And then that was before we had this large punch list. Now, who's going to do the punch list? So Gary has to complete it. Now, I've already talked to Chief Cavalis, and if this thing goes over past July, which obviously is not going to, this will be the last increase, and I'm sorry, Town Manager Cavalis will complete that punch list. So this will be the last time.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
aye,
Opposed? Any? Motion passes. Where are we at? D? D? D.
Are we good on these? Are we good on these we discussed?
Yes, yes.
I move to authorize the following for department heads and non-organized employees as follows. Effective July 1st, 2020. A general salary increase of 2% for the following positions. Executive Administrative Assistant, Assistant Town Manager / Finance Director, Director of Public Works. Administrator for Land Use/Building Services, Director of Parks and Recreation, Water and Sewer Superintendent, Police Chief, Deputy Police Chief, Fire Chief, Deputy Fire Chief, Deputy Fire Marshal, Town Clerk, and Economic Development Director, along with establishing a minimal comp time accrual of 2 hours for meetings and other mandated. Increase the opt-out medical insurance annually in April to $1,500 for single, $2,500 for two-person, and $3,500 per family. And sick time accrual reduced to 15 days per year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And, any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Who's opposed?
No, everybody
Oh, okay. Abstain? Motion passes. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Aye.
Thank you.